Now that we're in a complete state of confusion, let's open up our Bibles.
That should have been April 1st.
Good grief. I want to talk to you about one of Satan's deadly allies. Anybody want to take a stab at what that is? It's a one-word ally.
Memory.
Memory, that's a good one.
Satan.
Greed's another one. What's another one?
Gossip.
Gossip's another one. The tongue is another one. What could be? Money's another one. What's the overall word I'm looking for in James here? It starts with a temp and ends with a tation. Yeah. I like how people really put them words together once I lay it out like that. Emily, she's the first one. It's like she's playing that show, you know. Temptation! Yeah. Family Feud or something.
We don't play games with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emily gets out of control.
Where did I get it from? It's a family.
All right. So look at verse 12 with me. I'm going to read 12 through down around 15 or so. And it said, God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation, or trials and temptation. Afterward, they will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love Him. And remember, when you are being tempted, do not say, God is tempting me. God is never tempted to do wrong, and He never tempts anyone else. Temptation comes from our own desires, which entice us and drag us away. These desires give birth to sinful actions, and when sin is allowed to grow, it gives birth to death. Now, when we read this, we look at it like James is making a general statement. But we're not reading it correctly when we look at it like this. When we just, like James is just trying to pass us some information. That's not exactly what he's doing here. So when we read the Word, we have to read the Word with understanding, right? So when we're reading the Word here, what James is doing is he's carefully correcting people whose thinking's jacked up. People who were sinning were claiming they were sinning because God tempted them. And James is pointing out that, listen, God don't tempt anyone. So that's the reason for this. God doesn't tempt anyone, he says. So don't be going around saying that when you sin, it's God tempting you and you fell for it. No, that's not what happens. We're gonna talk about the difference between a trial and the difference between trial and temptation. We're going to talk the difference between desire and lust. Okay? Big difference in these four things. Okay? Trials and temptation, desire and lust. There's a difference that can be made in all of these. So we're going to take a look at that and why James is saying what he has said about this particular thing. You know, it's not about what God is doing to you. It's about what you are doing to you. So it's about God doing one thing, Satan doing another thing, and you reacting to either or. So we're going to talk about this. Satan's deadly ally, which is temptation. That is an ally of the pit of hell. So whenever you experience temptation, note that is not coming from God. So remember that. A key component to your spiritual warfare and your spiritual well-being is understanding, as James has said, temptation does not come from God. He can't be tempted at all, and neither does he tempt anyone. Okay, we're going to talk about why that's so. All right? We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Any prayer requests?